Nou, Suid-Afrika se gunsteling-punkrockgroep CRASHCARBURN het 'n nuwe album uit en die hoofsanger Garth Barnes kuier vanoggend by ons. Morning and welcome.
Môre.
So, you seem bietjie Afrikaans.
But Afrikaans people are very forgiving. If you just say more and you go down, you go to English, we'll take everything.
Listen, at one point in my life, I was very good at speaking Afrikaans when I worked in Malalaan.
Yes.
But if you don't practice it, je moet bietjie oefen.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's like staying thin as well. You have to
Yeah. Garth, I want to go way back to the beginning. How did CRASHCARBURN start?
So, I mean, sure, when you say way back to the beginning, I don't give away my age here, but we are talking about like more than 20 years ago. Me and some guys from high school played in another band called Tweak. We had some fun with that band, and then we decided to move overseas and try our luck that side. And we quickly realized that what we were doing there wasn't really working. So we switched things up, got some new band members, and CRASHCARBURN was born in about 2005, 2006 in London, of all places.
Wow.
So yeah, we spent a couple of years in the UK, and then it was time to come home, and we've been going ever since, so yeah.
I do want to ask, because you're speaking about, you started in London, and I know your first album was recorded in 2006 in London. And like you said, going after all these years, why do you still make music?
To be honest, I asked myself this question often, even when we were writing this latest album. It's like, why am I doing this? I'm an old man. I should be enjoying my life, relaxing. And it's an addiction. To be honest, it's this bizarre thing that is in your blood, and you can't get rid of it. So in the height of COVID, you know, we've been doing this for so long. In the height of COVID, it was like, okay, there's no reason to make music anymore. There's nowhere to play. Yes. There's nowhere to record. You can't do anything. Just relax, enjoy your life. And that actually was kind of nice to have a break after making music for 20 years without a break. It was nice to just chill for a bit. But then the itch started. And it's like, I wonder what it'd like to get out there on stage again. So, and you can't ignore it. And it was nice to have a bit of a break, but it's super great to be back. And we've been loving playing live again. Great to have new music out, just having a lot of fun. And it still is fun. I guess when it stops being fun, we'll throw in the towel.
See, that's very refreshing because we get a lot of people here who keep on working at their careers constantly, every day, every second, working. And it's nice to find someone that says, listen, we don't care if it takes us, like in this instance, 4 years before we get a new album out. And we're doing it because it's a need we have to fill. It's the fun in it. That's why we do it.
Absolutely. And I think that is where we're super lucky in that this is not our job. So a lot of musicians, the really successful ones, the ones that do well, it's a career for them, which is great. And that's awesome. But it becomes becomes a job. We did it full time for way back in the day for a while. And the minute you're relying on it financially, the stakes are like up here, and of course you enjoy it still, I'm sure, but it changes something. Whereas now it's literally like a hobby for us, something that sustains itself. We don't have to go and play every weekend. We play the shows we want to play. We do the gigs we want to do. We release music when we want to release it. And because of that, it's on our terms, and I think we enjoy it more than somebody who's doing it full time, who's banking everything on this.
Wow.
Well, you're in a great place, I think, for a musician, for an artist, is to do it because you want to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
I do want to ask then on that, because you say you can choose which shows you want to play. Ideally, what would be the ideal show for you guys? Where would it be? In front of which crowd? Are there artists you'd like to collaborate with?
Right. Can I bring people back from the dead for this?
Here we go.
Because I think my parents told me about this show. They went and they saw Queen at the Sun City Super Bowl.
Oh, in the 80s, yeah.
So and I grew up listening to Queen. It was just like, and then for me, nothing could ever touch that. So if I could bring Freddie back and play at the Sun City Super Bowl, that's what I would do.
Yes, but in the 80s.
In the 80s, of course. I was born in the 80s. It's got to...
It was magic that
Since
place
we're
in
bringing
the
people
80s.
back from the dead, we might as well time travel as well, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Go back to the
Let's
80s.
break all the rules. So now, tell us about, Back from the Dead.
Yeah.
The album titled Back from the song Back from the Dead.
Sure.
Tell us about it all, please.
So, I mean, again, to go back to COVID times and everything, we'd been making music for 20-something years. All of a sudden, the whole world just shifts and shut down. Suddenly, there's nowhere to play. You're not even thinking about... I mean, if you think back to those initial days when it was like hard lockdown, it was hectic, You weren't even allowed out to go to the shops. So music just was taken off the table overnight. And we thought, okay, that's it, we're done. And I think most of our fans or people who listen to our music also think, okay, we haven't heard from these guys for so long, they must be over. So we're like, okay, let's not say anything because we don't want to commit in case something happens. And we just started working on the album behind the scenes. And it literally felt like a rebirth for us, Back from the Dead. And that's where the whole album name and concept came from.
And same kind of sound on this album, same thing that your fans normally expect, or is there something different?
Yeah, I think the DNA depends who you ask. If you ask my mom, she's going to say, why is it so heavy? But it's got that CRASHCARBURN DNA. There are some softer tracks on there, but I think in general, we just, going back to the playing for fun and whatnot, we wanted to write something that was fun to play. And you'll see there's Bicky Blommetjies there on the skull. It was actually a full-color album before we went black and white, but I digress. It was just about coming back from this dark place and writing about all our experiences during COVID, because it was a hectic time. I don't know anybody who didn't lose somebody that they really loved.
Yeah.
So there was that, and then juxtaposed with that is I had kids, which is a game changer. So it was like a really magical but also dark time, and all these things came out, and this album that we're really proud of, and also came extremely easily when we started writing it. I don't know if it's because of the break or because we had so much to write about or what it was, but it just like boom, and it was done in a month. So
what's so nice is you say, or you compare your albums to novels because of the stories behind it and so on. So is writing something that just comes naturally to you guys?
I would say the music part is the easiest part. The difficult thing is the lyrics, I think. Because to write something that hasn't been said a million times, there's so many songs out there, and whether you like it or not, you're always being influenced and hearing lyrics, and there's always a danger that you're going to use those, even if it's not intentional. So to be original with lyrics and write something that means something and people can relate to, for me, that's the hardest part. I think for other artists, I'm sure it's different, but the song comes and then it's like, damn, okay, these lyrics.
But an album with 11 songs on it, it's rather impressive nowadays, hey? And you're written in 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, people don't write albums anymore. We've come from a place of, okay, CDs and albums to a place where, okay, now everybody's releasing singles. And we tried that. We're not above releasing a single or whatever, but it's, to go back to the novel comparison, it's kind of like, okay.
It's the body of work.
There we go. It's like writing a magazine article or writing a novel. There's a place for a magazine article. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
But the satisfaction, I think, that comes from completing an album with 11 tracks and being able to tell that story and sort of putting a timestamp on your life or where you were as an artist is something that's very rewarding as a musician, I think.
Wow. Garth, it's been wonderful speaking to you this morning. We look forward to the live performance a little bit later on, but thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us. Dis natuurlik Garth Barnes van CRASHCARBURN. Bly op skakel, want bietjie later kan jy ook luister na daai liedjie.